welcome back to GFF and Friends, the podcast for new beginnings.
Oh.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Gay Fat Friend, aka Todd, and joining me as always is my beautiful, delicious, teeny tiny, microscopic husband, Rob.
Hello.
People can see me from space. People can't see you from anywhere.
I am small.
You're so small.
How's it going?
I'm okay. I'm frustrated.
Why?
I don't know.
Oh, all right then.
It's just that thing. I mean, I guess in the grand scheme of things, I know why I'm frustrated, but it's like, you know, a cup of this, a tablespoon of that, a dash of this, a wisp of those. Like, it's kind of just everything. Also, I think I just have the January guzz.
Yeah, well, and, you know, I, all over the internet, at least I've been seeing people probably put it better than I have been able to identify it, but, like, every day since New Year's, I have thought was Sunday.
Yeah.
And so I have literally been going through the Sunday scaries every day, but also then
essentially wasting your vacation.
Right, but then having that relief of, oh, it's not, and then you can move on. But like, it's still, you still kind of have that, you're tripping on the first hurdle every single day.
Yeah.
And then you're just kind of frustrated and you look like a loser.
Yeah.
And so I'm mixing all the metaphors, but here we go. But no, like, and so today is like truly an earned Sunday scaries because at least for me and many people with, you know, office jobs,
9 to 5s.
Yeah, a lot of us have not had to return to work yet, just based on the layout of the holidays in the week.
FYI, we record on Sunday, so it's
Yeah.
currently Sunday. We're recording like mid-afternoon before the Golden Globes start, but
Yeah.
this will come out on Wednesday. So
I'll be back at work already.
You'll already be back at work.
But like, yeah, it's one of those things where it's just like it's. This has been a delightfully robust holiday break, both in like how much we have taken advantage of it and done stuff, but also like recharged and just the amount of time that's been available. But also I've been having this odd sense of guilt and Sunday scaries for almost a week now. So yeah, it's been like, I'm feeling the same kind of like just weird agitation right now.
I feel like the older I get, the more and more I become prepared for January and like glad it's here and ready. But I feel like of all years, like I'm super excited it's January because I'm like ready to just get the year underway, get stuff done. But then there's also this like impending sense of doom. I'm like, God damn it. And so, because like we put Christmas away yesterday and it's all put away and it's all organized and we got rid of some stuff and we cleaned everything. The house is so clean. It almost feels barren. Like I am a maximalist when it comes to decorating.
It's feeling a little institutional right now.
Yeah. Our house was like overly decorated for so long. Because I do Halloween into Thanksgiving into Christmas. So, like, there is decor up for over 90 days. And for it to finally all be down and put away, like, I feel like we're moving or something. Like, the house is just barren.
The house is not going to look normal to us
for
probably
a few weeks.
Yeah. And then we'll be like, oh yeah, like how did we ever live with all that stuff everywhere?
Well, and to normal people, our house is still very maximalist.
It's very busy. Like we live in a busy space.
A blank shelf does not stay empty for long in this home.
There are not many surfaces that are yearning to be occupied.
Yeah. We love a collectible. We love a figurine.
Yeah.
We love an objet.
We love a challenge when it comes to dusting.
Exactly.
So,
but yeah, so like the house is ready. We're ready. And very much, I got a bunch of Lego done. Like I feel accomplished. I posted a lot of content that I'm proud of.
right. And well, and you know, and I built a bunch of furniture.
Oh yeah, we got new shelves because like we needed more surface area to cover.
And every single cubic foot of my life will be at some point square or cubic storage solutions that are large enough to hold various media.
But mainly records.
Oh yeah, but but also I found other ways to turn those boxes into other things that are very useful to me. But like seriously, my entire life is going to be those before I die, and I continued that process during this break. So yeah,
but we got some good ones. Like I believe it's called the Calyx from IKEA.
I'm not sure if it's currently the Calyx or if it because it either was the Expedit or it was the Calyx, and now it is the other one.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I have an original 4x4 of like the oldie one because like that one I literally got in probably 2005, and
we've moved it a lot.
I have moved it at this point probably 7 or 8 times, and it is a kick-ass piece of furniture.
It's solid.
All the new ones I've gotten are a little bit less reliable.
Yeah.
And they're a little bit more of like maybe you move them 3 times and then you replace one. But yeah, that first one's still kicking.
Well, and we got these new ones from Target, which I feel like is where we've been getting them mostly especially since we moved to Seattle.
Well, and it's easy just especially getting to an IKEA is difficult.
We haven't been to an IKEA up here yet.
All the IKEA stuff I've gotten through the mail, but I've gotten smaller stuff through them, not the big stuff. And also, at least, like typically these cubic things that we're getting from Target, we're getting like the smaller configurations of them that like I can carry by myself.
Yeah.
we're not getting the 5x5 ones that are taller.
We got 2 1x2s and we got 1 2x4 or 2x3.
2x3.
And what's funny is we're sitting next to 2 giant ones filled with records in front of us right now, but you can't see it. But they're traditionally either black or very, very, very dark stained. I mean, it's faux, but a stained wood in certain lighting can almost come off as like dark burgundy. But we have a couple like gray ones that we got a few rounds ago. And then this round, because it's in the basement and we will see it every single day because it's right outside of our bedroom. I was like, you know what? Let's get like a light blonde wood like finish one, and it's really brightened up the space.
Right? It's like I would have never considered it because I'm always like, oh yeah, dark goes with everything.
Like brown is my most hated color when it comes to interior design, followed closely by orange. So anything in the spectrum of brown and orange just like really turns my stomach.
Meanwhile, like I love anything chocolate brown. Like
I just don't want to feel dark. Like, I'm afraid of the dark. I have been afraid of the dark my whole life. I didn't stop sleeping with a light on until I met Rob at 31. I slept with a light on every night for my whole life because I'm afraid of the dark.
And chocolate brown feels so warm and inviting to me.
It's a cozy color and it's definitely fun in spaces like libraries or Barnes and Noble. But like when it comes to furniture, I need like a lighter, blonder, even our desk here, like this is almost too dark. Like I need lighter woods. I need happy feeling looking things. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I just don't want to decorate with like, and I hate that the trend now among like YouTube interior design DIY folks is all brown everything all the time. And I'm just like, oh, it's too dark. So
agreed to disagree on that one.
Anyway, we got a very beautiful light washed wood finished organizer for the basement and it looks so clean and fresh and that excites me. So things are exciting me. I'm excited about
we got some stuff
things
done. Like, I mean, we've also accomplished like seriously, I do want to be like, at least, I feel like putting like Christmas has shaken some stuff to like sort of the top of the pile that makes it easy to get rid of in the new year. I'm kind of re-energized to get some stuff sold and moved out of here, free up some space.
I already have a pretty big Goodwill pile going. I would love to do a garage sale this summer because I have a handful of things that I think we could get, $20, $30, $40 for. I don't want to just give that to the Goodwill, especially since that's like a for-profit business now.
Such a hard time with garage sales. I feel like garage sale, people always expect like, stuff for a nickel.
Yeah.
And so it is that thing of like, is it just easier to find individual places to sell stuff? But then everything happens so freaking long. It just takes so like forever to do everything.
I need to figure out Facebook Marketplace. Like I need to actually sit down and kind of look at it, go through it, figure it out because the couple of times I've kind of peeked at it, it feels like
a junk heap.
It feels like a junk heap, but it also feels like Craigslist, and it feels like it's all scams. Like I was looking for something. It was something for the house, a piece of furniture or something. And I think it might be this. I think I just searched like mid-century modern desk, and every result that came up was like the same kind of screen grabbed picture of furniture from IKEA, people selling it. It was almost like drop shipping. And I was like, how are people buying furniture on Facebook Marketplace? It's all ads for drop ship stuff. So I need to go back in and just really figure it out because I would like to liquidate some stuff as opposed to just giving it away. But on the same note, I want to like Marie Kondo our lives pretty hard this year. I want to get rid of shit.
And I feel like we did such a good job of that in 2020. And I feel
so if we could get another pandemic, that would be great.
But yeah, we are overdue for a little bit of a nice, at least reevaluation of what we have.
Yeah.
Because it would be nice. Like this year, we were talking earlier, this needs to be the year of kind of use what you have. Like, let's, like seriously, there's a lot of stuff occupying space here that we have not really used yet. So
save purchases for things we desperately want and need and can't make do with at home.
Yeah.
And I think we've been really good about, we have been, what's it called? I almost said a phrase that like is, you know what I'm going to say? We've been eating out our freezer really hard. And that's good for us because we love to freeze things and then we forget about them.
Yeah. So yeah, we've been cleaning out the freezer, which has been good. We've been eating out of the freezer.
Sure.
That's I think what you wanted to say.
Yeah. And our cupboards, like we're eating a lot of the food we've bought and it feels nice.
No, that's been good. And seriously, like even like I've been reading books that have been on the shelf for years that I've moved so many times that I've never read. And it's just like, why am I carrying this weight with me? And either I need to read it or give it to someone who will. And like, so last book I read of the year was Animal Farm, which was great. Short little read. Holy crap, it's good.
It's rough.
Yeah. Oh man, it is infuriating. But seriously, it's one of those that I'm like mad it took me as long as it did to read it. Or as long as it took me to read it. But, there were some books I just didn't get to read in high school. Like, I didn't read The Great Gatsby until I was in my 30s. And I did that by choice because it's one of your favorite books.
Yeah.
And so, like, that's one of those books that, like, I never had to read Lord of the Flies. But I chose to read that because I love that story. I
never had to read it, but we watched it.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I didn't care for the original movie that actually follows the book more closely. I really like the movie with Balthazar Getty from the 90s, even though it took a lot of liberties. Love the book. And so, yeah, it's one of those where like Animal Farm, holy shit. And it's nice though, also because it's one of those where it's like, I read it once, I remember it vividly. If I want to read it again, I'll snag it probably on Kindle or something. But instead, it's like I took it to a little library and just kind of put it in there because someone else needs to read it. Mm-hmm. Like I'm mad that I didn't read it for as long as I did, and it needs to be passed on like right now.
Yeah, and same with like movies. Like I feel like there's things we need to work through. We need to see. I have never seen Scarface, which I always think is weird. And
right.
I feel like I would probably like it or at least understand it.
Or at least it's one of those things that we need to watch just so we can say, hey, we've seen it.
Yeah.
Like I can contextualize, say hello to my little friend now, and we can move on. I've never seen it.
I've also never seen Taxi Driver.
I have seen Taxi Driver. I actually saw a midnight movie of that when I was in college. But yeah, we just watched Chinatown. For the first time together in the last like
both
month.
of us ever, yeah, we've never seen it.
Had never seen it before.
It's dark,
yeah. Like, and I see why people talk about it. And also, I think earlier, just a couple episodes, we were talking about one of my favorite terrible movies is the slapstick comedy Fatal Instinct, which is a mashup of tons of movies, but its main narrative is Double Indemnity. And there's a really great Chinatown parody in there that I did not know was Chinatown. And so it's one of those things of like, holy shit! It's it's just.
Also, I think it's really funny that it's named Chinatown because, if you've seen it, that doesn't really play a huge part in the film.
Well, I mean, like, I think it's more about, they talk about like past experiences there. And of course, the ending.
But yeah, it's kind of a maintenance year is how I'm looking at it. I'm ready to like kind of get more fit, lose some weight, kind of take care of myself a little better, work through all of our books and movie backlog, clean the house, get rid of stuff, just preparing for something that I don't know what's coming, but I just want to be prepared.
Preparing for bird flu to have us all locked in place
right?
again.
Another pandemic would be nice.
We need to make this place more nesty.
But also, I'm very much, it's so funny, I'm like, I need to prepare for the worst, but like, I don't want to live through the worst. Like, I am running towards the atomic bomb. If zombies come out, I'm purposely making them bite me. Like, I don't want to survive that kind of stuff.
And normally I'm with you on that because I don't want to suffer. However, I do have a lot of reading to get done. So, if you just want to make this place real nice,
yeah,
I'll join you in a minute. But like seriously, like I could use the quiet.
Yeah, if it gets bad, like I don't need to prep for doomsday because I will be one of the ones that goes away.
Yeah. But like,
but
but
let's make this as cozy and safe space as possible.
Right, seriously. If until it gets terrible, this is a fine place to just sort of hang out and, get through my video game backlog. Let's go.
Excellent. Yeah. And we went to Barnes and Noble, but also like with Christmas presents and Amazon, we both have gone kind of ham on books. Like we have a pretty large book backlog now to read. I would say I have, 25 books to read now that are on my like TBR staring me in the face.
Well, I'm still trying to get through just the occasional classic every now and then. Like I need to read 100 Years of Solitude. That's the next one I want to read.
Because we want to watch that.
Yeah, but also like the second half of that series isn't out yet, so maybe we want to binge it all at once. Yeah. So I have time on that one a little bit because like I like Gabriel Garcia Marquez, but he's kind of hard to read sometimes, I find. And so But yeah, like right now I'm about to start The Things Between Us, or The Thing Between Us. It was a TikTok horror recommendation for years.
Yeah.
So finally about to do that. But like also, we've mentioned before, I would love to actually really do a Stephen King read through. And I've already read a lot of his stuff, just kind of salt and peppered throughout his entire career. But like there's classics of his that I've not read yet, like Salem's Lot, Christine. I'm actually kind of curious about reading an original version of The Stand, just to kind of see what got left out.
I mean, all of the gifts I got you, besides one, were Stephen King books.
Like one that was
So
a
you
big
have
part of my
several
list
Stephen Kings to read
was Stephen King stuff. So
well, I have Stephen King's too, because I want to read Holly, and I have Dolores
Fairy
Claiborne,
Tale,
which
right.
I've had Dolores Claiborne sitting on my bedside table for 2 years now, and I'm like, it's one of my favorite movies ever. I love that movie. It's one of my favorite Stephen King stories, just for the acting. But I've always wanted to read the book because I heard the book's amazing, and just staring at me every day. But I will read it.
Well, and next year, this year, there are 2 Stephen King or / King adjacent related kind of books happening already. There's one I think in April or May, which is like his next book. But then I think it might be in August. There's a book called, I think it's The End of the World as We Know It. And it is a collection of stories by other writers that are in the universe of The Stand.
Oh, cool.
And it's been kind of fun. I think Stephen King is...
It's like that Animatrix.
Kind of, yeah. But it's really cool. I think the fact that, like, I think Stephen King is recognizing, he's allowing his world to be kind of entered by a few other writers, but it's very controlled, at least from what I'm hearing so far. Because, like, there's a trilogy of books called, like, Gwendy's Magic Box or something like that.
The Train?
Like, it's, no, it's, that's from Dark Tower. But like, however, there's a series of like Gwendy's something. The 3 of them like that. Gwendy's Last Stand, I think, is the 3rd one. And that's a series of books that was like Stephen King co-wrote 2 of them and did the forward for one of them. But apparently they slot into the Dark Tower universe. And so it's kind of, I think it was seen as one of those of like, it's the first time that he's really let someone else in to like write in his world. And I think the Stand collection might be like kind of the next step of that.
Yeah.
Which is kind of fun because he can't be this prolific forever.
Or like Cloverfield. I feel like we haven't had a Cloverfield installment in a while. Because they were really going pretty good with that. Wasn't there...
After Cloverfield Paradox, I mean...
Wasn't there something we reveal... Something we watched, and at the end there's a reveal that it's like, this is in the so-and-so universe. And we're like, whoa, what were we watching?
Oh, I don't remember.
I very much just said, what was that movie with that guy? Like, no one's going to know what I'm talking about.
You're going to wake up in the middle of the night and just go, and just yell it out and scare me.
Yeah. But we're also getting a Stephen King movie, right? The Monkey.
Yeah, from Osgood Perkins.
And then we're getting Welcome to Derry, which is the It prequel.
Oh, yeah.
On HBO, right?
Yeah, and the Mike Flanagan movie, The Life of So-and-so, or whatever it's called. I forgot. Life According to So-and-so, or shit. Tom Hiddleston's in it. I can't remember what it's called. It's from the collection of short fiction called If It Bleeds. That's coming out this year as well, because that already did the film circuit.
Yeah.
Or
So
film
we're getting
festival circuit in Europe last year.
So we're getting 3...
At least 3.
At least 3 Stephen King film adaptations this year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, he's a big part of the cultural zeitgeist, but he's also a big part of our personal zeitgeist.
Yeah.
And, like I said, we're just going to work through all of our collections, read all of our stuff. We also need to work through a lot of Apple TV Plus stuff because we need to watch that Cate Blanchett show.
Well, I feel like we're going to have to just sort of focus very much on Apple Plus when we re-up our membership for Severance Season 2.
Which is, what, next week? 2
Real
weeks?
soon. It's like within a week or 2.
But it's weekly, which is good and bad. You know, it gets people talking. It gives people stuff to talk about. But also, I want to binge a whole series.
Right? I feel like maybe we just wait a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm kind of like...
Maybe 2 or 3 episodes. Maybe we'll get a 2-episode premiere. That would be nice. I feel like a lot of streamers are doing that.
Because seriously, I mean, after Squid Game Season 2 was so short, and I know Season 3 is around the corner. Final season, Season 3?
Yeah, it's the final.
That's actually for the best. I'm glad that at least they know it's the end and they
confirmed it for like June 27th.
Okay, cool. So yeah, within like, 7 months or 6 months, we're going to have an ending, and it's an ending.
Yeah.
Good.
Final.
I'm happy to hear that, honestly. If they want to do another season, it should be a spin-off, not a season 4.
Well, and it's funny because I saw a thread of someone saying like, Netflix had all these amazing shows that ended on cliffhangers and then they got canceled. Meanwhile, Squid Game was a perfect show of a season and it did not need a second season.
Yeah.
And they're like, let's pour more money into this. And it's like, finish the other shows that you left on cliffhangers first. Come on.
Yeah.
I hate it when they do that.
Well, and so it just on an, I want to get into super spoiler territory on this because like this movie is best known like as little as possible as you can going into it. We talked about The Substance before, about how much like we enjoyed it.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. And like the director of that recently did like an interview or something where she basically said, she's like, I'm not making a sequel to The Substance.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be made.
It's opposite of the entire point of why she made the movie.
And it's so funny because I totally agree. I get it. Like, although seriously, and I've mentioned this before, and I don't remember if I mentioned on the podcast or not, but like this feels like the perfect opportunity for like an animated miniseries or a miniseries of some sort. I just want to see other stories. Like that's, I don't need to see the sequel or continuation of any of these characters that we've already seen. I want to see other people
living with the substance,
having their experience with the substance.
Yeah.
Even good ones. I want to see the story of a woman or a man who takes the substance and is married and their spouse knows, and their spouse is having to share a life with this young idealized version and the person that they married.
Yeah, because they're
wanna
not taking the substance.
I want to know the drama of that. Like, I want to, like, seriously, I feel like there's so much here of just like, because we've seen a certain path of things and how they can go wrong.
Yeah.
I also would love to see where things go wrong in every other direction.
It's such a fun universe.
Seriously, I just want to play around in it.
It's one of the only times I ever want to see a prequel.
Right? Like, I just want to see more options. And it's,
Yeah.
and this thing, because like, I don't need more of these characters specifically. So it doesn't need to be a straight sequel. I just want more in that universe.
But also, I appreciate it being a singular
Yes.
IP thing that was invented purely to like bring out a new thing.
Totally. Like, and so full respect. But it's one of those, it's like, this is one of the few times where I've just been like, one of those people
Now I do
who
want
wants
more.
more and is just desperate for it. And I feel like so often I'm just like, people, let this one singular experience be what it needs to be.
Yeah.
But like, this is when I just want to peel out some layers on it and I want to know more.
Nerd.
Fanfic, here I come.
Yeah, write your own. Be the change you want to see in the universe. Is that the phrase? Maybe it is.
Sure.
I don't know. We'll get there.
Thanks, Gandhi.
But yeah, I feel like...
Sorry.
No,
Tangent.
you're totally fine. But kind of back to how we started, I'm just filled with like frustration. It is such a weird feeling. But also I'm like really frustrated for you that you have to go back to work tomorrow.
Ugh,
That makes me sad for you.
I know.
Because it's really fun to like have more time with you and you not have to work.
Well, you know,
Even though you are...
I'm nearby.
We've been together every day, every single day since the pandemic started. So like...
Yeah. Like,
we're always around each other.
yeah, my office is adjacent to yours.
But it's nice when you don't have to like sit in that room all day.
Yeah.
Although Ruby loves it.
Oh, man. Seriously.
Ruby's excited to go back to work. She's like, come on. Because, Rob, he's cold natured, always a little bit chilly. So he's got a space heater in his office.
Yeah, I have a radiator on almost all the time.
Ruby, like literally, I feel like you could set Ruby on fire and she would be happy. Like she just loves to be hot.
I'm seriously worried that like just the meat on her stomach is lightly cooked under the skin. I feel like she's been sort of somewhat kind of sous videing.
Yeah.
Like
she lays so close to the space heater.
she
that
T-poses like around it.
she's like almost hot to the touch.
Yeah. And she'll just lay there for hours.
It's like, damn, girl. And I think she would lay closer to the fire when we built a fire in the fireplace if it wasn't for the sound. Because
if it
she's
wasn't so
afraid
loud.
of sounds. She's afraid of the pops and the clicks of a fireplace, and that creeps her out. But she loves the heat.
Love
I
it.
feel like she would just lay on the tile of the fireplace.
Yeah. But no, so she'll be excited to be back in the office, just kind
Yeah.
of asleep in the love sack for 4 to 5 hours a day next to the radiator or on top of it.
Yeah. And speaking of jobs, I mean, for lack of a better term, TikTok is my job. And if it goes away, I'm so on the fence about all of it. Like, it's a frustrating app to work through and to deal with. But also, when it does hit and work, we make a ton of money. And I get a bunch of followers and attention, and it's fun. But like, when you work really hard on something and it doesn't work, it's really frustrating for it to just sit there and it feels like you did all this work for nothing. Also, like, I think people abuse TikTok and spread lies and misinformation. Like, I would be willing to say that as much good stuff has come out of TikTok when it comes to like person-to-person news and stuff like that, I feel like it's so easy to spread conspiracy theories faster via video on TikTok than it is even just like tweets. You know, like I feel like if someone does a video, a really well-produced, well-intentioned video of saying that bread is poison, I feel like more people are going to be like, you know what, bread is poison, because the video, you connect with video more than you connect. Yeah.
Well, but it's the thing of it's just where, you know, like right now I'm finding that most of Instagram apparently is just our life coaches and dietitians and various scammers. That's all. Like Instagram 100% is that now, and like I'm not engaging with them, like that's it's not like that's what the field I'm in, or I care about, or I'm excited about it. I literally block all of them, and so it's one of those where it's
so
just like
you get all that stuff.
Well, and Threads for me at this point is 100% people making these weird assertions that, like, you know, about like religion, and so they immediately get blocked as well, because I don't like that's not what my feed is for.
I wonder, are you liking double tapping like stuff on Threads? Because
really.
My Threads feed is very curated and I'm getting exactly what I want, but I do interact a lot.
I probably need to be dropping more likes. It's weird, both on Blue Sky and Threads I've been extremely tight on my likes,
observing, pretty much only being an observer,
which I think is it's probably not making my feed any more curated or educated about what I do like, because at least back in the day when I was on Twitter, my Twitter feed was awesome, before, you know, Twitter turned to the cesspool that it is now, and I bailed. So I probably need to actually I need to be giving it information so it knows what to give me. Because seriously, like I will say, like, even though I know TikTok has been a bit volatile when it comes to your ability to count on it as part of your job, just as consumers of TikTok, we're having a blast every day, pretty much. Like and so that's another thing of just like,
I'm gonna miss like sending each other funny videos all day, because we don't do it on Instagram. Right.
So much of our phone communication to each other is just sending TikToks to each other, because
literally just sitting next to each other on a sofa, we will text each other TikToks.
Because we see stuff that the other would like
for hours,
and my feed is always just astonishingly absurd.
Well, and I've developed a muscle memory now of, if I hear him guffaw laugh in another room, I pull out my phone and I wait for the notification that he sent me a TikTok, because I know that's what's about to happen.
If I can hear laughing through the floor because I can hear him laughing downstairs or something, I just know that my phone's about to light up in a second. Like,
and I'm going to miss that. I mean, I think when it comes to like net positive and net negative, I think TikTok has been more of a positive. I mean, it's my job. Like, it's literally like helped us, it's helped keep me out of like a 9-to-5 or a retail situation or something.
I feel like after you started the social media thing full time, like TikTok was the first to really be able to monetize quickly.
And it sucks because like it's always about building momentum and stuff, and I'm finally to a point where I'm making like consistent money, and now it's probably going to go away, and I'm like, great, I just got here. I equate that scene in Interview with a Vampire to so many things, but I feel like that new vampire at the end that Lydia made, and then I'm only a vampire. All my dreams come true for a week, and then they put me in the sun tunnel, and then I burn to ash. That's what I feel like. Like, I'm finally getting steady stuff from TikTok, and now it's going to go away. So I'm a little nervous about that. But also, I feel like we survived before TikTok. We'll make do after. It just sucks.
Well, and it's so weird. I don't want to ever be that guy, but like, I just feel like we hear so much grandstanding and just like yada about like what will happen, and I hate to say it, but like a lot of government stuff is a lot of talk, and they talk and talk and talk, and nothing ever happens. Yeah. And so it's one of those where like, and I feel like a lot of people right now are like, well, I want to be upset and I want to move on and I want to be ready, but also like, just between us, is this actually going to happen? Like, there's a lot of that. And so I think a lot of people are just like, well, I don't know if I really want to put in this effort if it's going to be for nothing. And so it's one of those where I want to say like, follow through with it, but also it's one of those things because like I don't want them to. Yeah. But it's one of those where it's like, I'm hoping that this is another one of those situations where there are a whole lot of bark, and then there's a last second cave in, like so much stuff of how that works. And so like, and I don't want to be that guy who's just like critical of the government just to be shitty or whatever, but it's one of those things where I'm like, sometimes a lot of talk and not a lot of so a lot of sizzle and not a lot of steak.
Well, and a majority of the law of the ban happening relies on Apple and Google removing the app. Like, just because the government bans TikTok doesn't mean it stops. Yeah. The App Store has to remove the app, and the app, that's how you kill the app. So like Apple and Google, because we've seen as we're currently living, that a lot of laws in this country are just honor systems. Like, you can just ignore laws in this country now. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything. So, like, Apple and Google just be like, we're not taking it out of the App Store. So, sorry. And then there's no ban. So, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? I'm bummed that it might go away, but also we'll survive.
Yeah.
And on that note, let's cheer things up and talk about food, huh?
Right, but at least it's funny. Even I feel like today's been a little bit of a tense kind of vibe in the air. We are much more alive than we were last week.
Yeah, well, last week I think I forgot to eat before we recorded, and it was too early in the day.
Holiday
on
hangover.
A Sunday, holiday hangover. It was between Christmas and New Year's in the taint of holidays, and I don't know, just.
Bad vibes.
The vibes were off last week.
Yeah, it was not.
But
the
this
vibe.
week I feel much more better, even though I just have an air of frustration about my body.
Well, the malaise is real.
Yeah, but let's move on to our final segment, shall we? Which is What's Your Order? What's your
Am
order?
I selecting the final piece of this?
I think we only have one piece left in here.
I'm going to look
and I have
as I select it this time.
I have to figure out what this segment is going to be. I don't know what else to put in here.
I feel like ancient, new category, ancient grains. Like, we're going to get real weird.
Well, now that this is episode 51,
wow.
We have one more till it's been a year. And I don't remember what's been in the box now that I've just been pulling things willy-nilly. So who knows what's going to be in this box? Maybe we'll start doing authors. Maybe we'll start doing directors.
Oh.
Maybe we could do What's Your Order with everything.
Because, what's your order? Like, we're consuming lots of things.
Yeah, exactly. So with stores, what's your order at Target? But anyway, the final What's Your Order of the box is...
Chips.
Chips! See?
Chips.
Willy-nilly fun stuff.
Right? This is good.
But also a major part of our lives.
Yeah.
In our family, but I think in the world too. I think chips or crisps, as they're called in England.
Yes.
But yeah, I think chips are a major part of everyone's life. I mean, is it, I feel like it's very rare that you enter a home and there's not a bag of chips on the counter.
I don't know. Actually, like I grew up in like not a chips family. Like we had tortilla chips.
Which is weird because your mom ate all my chips when she was here.
You know, like when chips are available, I guess we will eat them.
Oh, maybe that's why I get those chips out of this house.
But it's one of those like, I feel like we didn't often have chips in the home, aside from like tortilla chips, because I was like very much like a microwave nacho kind of kid.
Yeah.
You know, every now and then. But I go through those phases. But like, if chips are nearby though, get them out of her way.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I grew up in a massive chip household. My dad is a major snacker. Like, I feel like my dad survives on snacks. My dad will eat a meal, but I feel like a lot of my memories are my dad walking through a kitchen and grabbing a handful of something. Like, that's what my dad loves to do. And it's definitely genetic. It definitely runs in the family. But we are very much a chip family growing up. And now we're a chip household as adults.
Well, and I'm a boring chip person, but I do like them because I'm very much a crunchy guy. Both as a personality as well as what I enjoy eating. And so like I'm highly motivated by crunchy stuff.
You're not the modern crunchy though, which is
not crunchy granola.
Let's say hippy dippy new
crunchy
wave.
as in just kind of spiky or ill-tempered. But not to cut you off, but I like a simple chip. I guess just hop into it. Big fan of like a standard Lay's. I love a thick cut crunchy ass kettle chip, but like a salt and pepper one.
Yeah.
Occasionally I go into like, salt and vinegar. Those can get a little too vinegary for me at times.
I have burnt myself, like literally like chemical burned my mouth on salt and vinegar chips before.
Well, I eat enough of the limon Lay's to literally fry my tongue for weeks. I love those, by the way. Those are so good. But like,
twice in my life, I have chemical burned my tongue. Once was with Sour Patch Kids. I don't know. It was like a batch of Sour Patch Kids that had too much citric acid on it, and it burnt my tongue. Or maybe I just ate a whole bag. And then the second was salt and vinegar chips in England. It hits different over there.
As a kid, I split my tongue once because I was sucking on like so hard and on so many sweet tarts during a movie. Oh my god! Yeah. And so anyway,
where's the addition of substance for that?
Right. So chips, other stuff. I love Sun chips.
But which version?
Just the plain ones.
Exactly. He eats plain Sun Chips. The blue bag. If you've even seen it,
They
I didn't even know
feel
they
like
exist.
they're healthy.
Yeah.
Much like the root,
Whole grain.
like the root vegetable chips, the Terra chips. I love those too.
I
but
was just gonna say, don't forget your favorite. Like, that's your second favorite.
they
chip.
look like you're eating potpourri. It's kind of hilarious, and they're delicious.
They're so good.
I love them. Are there any other weird chips? Like, I'm trying to think if there's any other sort of like standard, but no, I think I'm very much a regular old potato chip guy.
Now, those are big bags that we buy for the house, but like Road Trip 7-Eleven, is there like a small bag of chips that you buy?
No, I think I'd probably go like small bag of Sun Chips. Like that's usually what I grab from Subway.
Yeah, but do they do the plain ones in small bags?
They do. And if I can't get those, I usually get the cheddar ones.
Yeah.
I keep considering getting those fresh salsa ones, and I've never bought them, or whenever I have, I've just left them on the counter, and then you've eaten them, and I'm like, how were they?
You got it one time, and your sandwich was too big, so you didn't eat them. And then like a month later, I was like, Same. We currently have a small bag of oregano potato chips that we got at a Greek restaurant on our counter. That has been there for months. They're still good.
I need to eat those.
Let's eat those tonight. Let's just get rid.
All right. Let's experience.
We're circling back to our getting rid, eating stuff out of the house.
We will experience the oregano chips.
Yeah. Is it just going to taste like pizza?
I hope so.
Well, that's great.
So that's my chip story. And I don't tend to put them like, and if we're doing like tortilla chips, they go in a dip or like a salsa or a queso dip. But that's honestly, like, I will occasionally enjoy the dips that you enjoy, like your specialty one, which I'll let you talk about.
Wait, dip or chip?
Dip. I figure you probably want to talk about
dip?
Yeah, I figure you want to talk about dips as part of the chip experience for you.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's different chips for different events.
But I think that's all of my chip stuff. So I will let you take the chip floor.
It's funny, like thinking about your mom now. When I was in LA staying with them by myself, I first and foremost, I love a plain Lay's chip. It's thin, it's crispy, it's salty, it's delicious.
The perfect lunch companion.
Honestly, it's probably my number one chip consumption wise. Like, I eat it more than any other chip because, especially sometimes even when I go to like Subway, I'll just get a plain Lay's. I just like a crispy, salty potato chip. But then like Lay's as a brand, I love barbecue Lay's. I love sour cream and onion. So good. Like, just, I love a thin, crispy chip. But so when I went to LA, I bought a bag of Lay's. I bought the like party size and was sitting on the counter. And then Rob's parents get back from their cruise. So I'm with them for a couple days before I come back to Seattle. And every morning I would wake up to my bag of chips, which my chips are your chips. There's no ownership here. But chips would be on the sofa open because his mom had like a late night stack of chips. And then when she was here for a week for Christmas, same thing. I would find my chips. After she left, I was doing laundry, washing the bedding, and I found my bag of chips next to her guest bed. So your mom loves a plain chip if it's in front of her.
And if it's a late night insomniac snack, like that is a thing.
She's like a little mouse.
Seriously, she's just like, you'll hear this, because I kept falling asleep on the sofa, like I do. And I would occasionally wake up to just to sort of hear her like kind of toddling out of the guest room, and then I hear the crinkle of a bag, and I was like, oh, she's going for more chips.
That's the thing too. Towards the end of the trip, she would just start taking the bag with her, but she's the type of person put like literally like 3 chips in a bowl and bring that bowl to the sofa, which I guess is like the healthy way to do it.
Portion control.
But then she would just get up every 5 seconds and get 3 more chips and put them in the bowl, and I just want to be like, Arlene, just take the bag.
Hey, but getting your steps in, I guess. But like eventually she was like, I'll just take the bag.
Okay, so like I've already said, plain Lay's is probably my number one chip, and then the Lay's brand of just plain Lay's. Lay's also makes a delicious kettle. So if you're looking for a kettle chip and you're on the fence, plain Lay's kettle chips are like the best kettle chips, the best flavor, good crunch. I love a kettle chip.
Oh, so good.
And then when it comes to ridges, I like Ruffles the most. Like, Ruffles are like the best ridged potato chip. I don't like wavy Lay's.
That's it. I will say on Ruffles, they're the only one that I will do a sour cream and cheddar.
Oh, like powder?
Yeah,
like, the orange ones.
Yeah, I don't love a flavored chip, but
cheddar sour cream.
That one I do. Yeah, that one I do like.
Yeah, and that was always confusing to me too, because I was like, wait, cheddar sour cream and onion, which is which?
Right.
But yeah, I don't like a wavy Lay. I like a plain Lay or a kettle Lay. But when it comes to like ridges, it's got to be Ruffles. And Ruffles are such a specific flavor, but also they're the best dip chip.
Oh, those things
like
are
if you're going to eat onion dip or, ranch dip or spinach dip that I make, if you're not going to do corn chips, which we'll get into in a second, Ruffles are the best dip chip because, Ruffles have ridges and that's support. That's science.
Yeah.
Okay, that's architecture.
Seriously, no, that is some
Physics
smart
even.
design. Those are some substantial chips.
But I can house a bag of Ruffles in one sitting. I mean, I can do that with any chip. They're just delicious. I love them. But yeah, when it comes to like hot dips, a hot spinach dip, a queso, I like a corn chip, which Tostitos, traditionally, they're just a good, corny, salty chip, perfect for dipping.
But not like a Frito.
Fritos are very specific for like chili. I mean, I'll do a Frito if that's the only thing around, but when it comes to like nachos and stuff, it's a heavy chip. It's a dense chip. I don't really want it with other things.
I do like a Frito on a very specific case as well, but I think I usually eat them on their own.
Yeah.
Also, like, as a fun, quick little tangent, because I always have those, an aunt of mine, whom I've never met, but I've heard stories about her, was a like taste test quality assurance person on the Frito chip line in Texas in like I'm guessing the 70s.
That's exciting.
Yeah, and apparently she was like wafer thin, given that her job was to literally eat chips all day.
Now that's a dream. So if TikTok goes away, can someone at the chip factory hire me to taste test chips?
Right? Like that's kind of a cool gig. Anyway, sorry, random thing, but it's like I hear about Frito, like corn chips, and I'm always like, I know someone who had like the dream job, and apparently, I don't know, I've heard just not great things about that person. That's probably why I never met them.
All right then. Well, speaking of Fritos, I would say my other favorite chip that I get the most is Doritos. And I just love a plain old cheese Dorito, although sometimes I will crave a ranch Dorito. The sweet chili, is it sweet Thai chili?
Or sweet chili lime?
No, sweet Thai chili.
Is that it?
The purple ones. Those are really good, but they're spicy. And they will stick with you, if you know what I'm saying.
I forget about Doritos because I do enjoy a nacho cheese Dorito.
And like when all the Kamala stuff first started and she was talking about how, I think was it 2016 when Asshole won the first time? She was like, I just grabbed a bag of Doritos and ate the whole thing on the sofa. And I was like,
I don't think I've ever heard that, but
yeah. And so yeah, when she told that story this summer during the campaign, I was like, now I'm craving Doritos all the time. So that's why we had so many Doritos during the debates and stuff.
Did not realize that.
Yeah, I love Doritos. And they're it's not an acquired taste. It's just like Doritos are the kind of chip that when you think of it and you start to crave it, you have to have it. It's just like, I need a Costco bag of Doritos right now.
It's like White Castle.
Yeah.
Or another super specific chip that is highly like, I need it and I need that one chip. But otherwise, if I ask for chips and you give me this, that's not chips. Pringles.
Oh yeah, Pringles.
If I ask for chips and you give me a can of Pringles, I'll be like, thank you. I'll eat it, but these are not chips, kind of. It's weird, but like if I want Pringles, though, I need Pringles.
It's almost like a cracker. Like it's a very specific thing.
Well, it's a reconstituted chip, right?
It's like Munchos, which Munchos are one of my favorite potato chips too. Because it's just a ground up.
It's dried mashed potatoes.
Yeah,
like
pretty much.
Yeah,
and
like
then fried.
Mash the wet, dry the wet. Like you have a chip now.
Yeah,
weird.
Chemically change its composition.
Yeah.
Well, and then on that note, I also grew up in a Cheetos household, but a crispy Cheetos because my mom loves just like a crunchy, crispy Cheeto. That's I think my mom's maybe favorite chip. And are those chips?
They come in a bag and they compete with chips, so I would say yes. But it's funny because whenever I had Cheetos growing up, which wasn't often, I'm a Puffs guy.
I was gonna say I'm a Puffs kid too, and our neighbors always had Puffs, and we had the crunchy ones, and I was like, oh, I want the Puffs.
Like the gnarled crunchies are nice though, but the Puffs have such good
they're
mouthfeel.
Delicious. But that's half the part of eating like a cheese puff is the like disintegrating in your mouth.
Although a lot of people I think prefer the cheese ball when it comes to that.
Fun.
But I'm more of like the log. You need the long like crunchy,
the doodle, the curl,
the doodle.
Yes. But it does have a little bit of Captain Crunch razor blades to it. The balls. I feel like the doodle doesn't really shred the inside of your mouth the way a ball will. Because like I've definitely gotten Captain Crunch mouth from eating cheese balls, but they're so good. And then the best part at the end is licking the cheese off your fingers.
Well, it's funny. I was just gonna say, like, as somebody who has often tactile or sensory problems. I won't say problems, but just icks.
Yeah.
I have icks, and I don't like dealing with them. It's so funny because I feel like maybe I would have eaten a lot more Cheetos, and I would still think of them as like I literally forgot they existed till you mentioned them. And it's one of those.
We don't really bring them in the home that much.
And I feel like it's one of those. Maybe I would have eaten them a lot more if I'd known about the chopstick trick when I was a kid. I would have been eating Cheetos with chopsticks.
It's a good way to train yourself to chopsticks.
I would have like,
and then you don't get cheese finger.
Yeah, it would have totally upped my chopstick game, but also it would have really enabled me to eat more of those, because I often still talk about how like it's a miracle I still eat Oreos now, because I completely cut Oreos out of my diet when I had braces, because they're the most hideous things to eat if you have metal brackets, because they hold everything.
Yeah.
And so like that was me just doing the world a favor of like, I'm not going to eat Oreos for the years that I have these in my mouth, and so I kind of lost my taste for them.
Yeah.
But luckily that came back.
Well, and yeah, we have a thing of thin and crispy Oreos upstairs that you haven't opened yet.
I know.
Got to get into those. Maybe we're about to watch the Golden Globes here in a minute.
And I bought milk.
That'll be one of our Globe snacks.
Yeah. And I bought milk. So now I can have Oreos, because that is a requirement for those. And I'm not a milk and cookies guy.
Yeah.
But like that is a requirement.
Another kind of on the fence of is it a chip or a snack is Funyuns, which I go ham for Funyuns.
I call it a chip.
Yeah. And they're delicious. I love Funyuns. And that's mainly my road trip snack is Funyuns or Munchos, which I mentioned earlier. But yeah, I love a Funyun. Again, you get Captain Crunch mouth, but it's worth it.
Well, so Funyuns I've never developed a taste for, but I always have had friends that had them, so I'm always used to the sort of secondhand Funyun smell.
Yeah.
And it's kind of pleasant, but also kind of weird. But it's very much a comfort smell to a degree, but like at a very particular distance. Like I'm used to like the passenger having Funyuns.
Yeah. Well, what were they Lay's Wow chips?
Or those like the sweepings?
The anal leakage?
Oh, the Olestra ones. Yeah.
I think those
were called Wow. Yeah.
I wonder if those are going to come back now, since like there's not going to be any food regulation anymore.
The FDA's, whatever. Did you ever have Boise's back in the day? I think I've asked you about these before.
No, but I think I remember you talking about
There is a very specific moment of...
Oh, but that does remind me. Keep talking.
Late
I have 2 more I want to
80s,
talk
and I
about.
think they actually might still be in some regional places. They're called Boise's. They're from Keebler, and they are potato chips that I think were cooked unbelievably hot because they blister.
Oh, yeah.
And so like they're really thin because they usually have almost like a layer that separated and kind of blistered and created these little crags. I thought they were fascinating. My family hated them. And so we literally only got them for me whenever I like demanded them, and then they stopped making them.
My favorite chip as a kid, which was a vending machine only chip, I don't think you could get it in the stores, were the TGI Fridays loaded potato skin chips.
Oh, yeah.
Which had like a brown side and an orange side.
I don't think I've ever had those, but like
they
I
were
feel like
so
I could
good.
paint you the bag.
Right?
Like it's so funny. I've never had them, but I know the bag.
I don't even know if they make them anymore, but it was like exclusive to vending machines. I don't think you could get a bag in the store.
I wonder how they sell
so
them. I feel like TGI Fridays has like closed so many locations, and like they've reduced their presence in so
like
many
a grocery
places.
store brand only now.
I'm kind of wondering if their chips would have survived.
Well, and then the other thing is the fries. What they sold them as like Andy's hot fries. I think they were potato sticks. They looked like pretzel rods, but they were potato.
Yeah. I used to give those to our old dog as a treat.
Well, I was gonna say they were the original Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
Oh, not the flavored ones.
Because you could get hot fries, but then they also had like plain ones.
Yeah, I got the plain ones.
Andy Cap, the Sunday comic or the newspaper comic. Remember?
No, I think I got the Trader Joe's brand.
I didn't know they had those, but yeah, and I'm talking. They're tiny. They're not like a French fry thickness. They're like a pretzel rod thickness. Like they're very thin and crispy. But again, I feel like they were only vending machine, and maybe they're regional. Those could be like Missouri only. Because I do love original chip.
Well, because even though I feel like recently I've heard multiple people refer to Utz or Utz. I believe it's Utz. Mm-hmm. The reason why I know that pronunciation is from the Blair Witch Project. So if that movie got it wrong, I've been saying it wrong for 25 years or 26 years now. But yeah, I have no idea what an Utz is. I could easily look it up, I'm sure. And I know it's spelled UTZ, I think is how it's spelled.
Is there an umlaut?
I don't know. I doubt it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have no idea what it is, but I believe it's a chip type thing, and I think it's probably much more prevalent east of the Mississippi than it is here.
Yeah. Well, there's that one New Orleans brand that's like national now. They do the voodoo chips.
Oh.
We see them all the time. We always talk about them.
Oh, I don't think I don't think I've processed that
Yeah.
in a way where I've clung
And then
it.
there's a Cincinnati chip called Grippos, which I love. It's their main flavor is barbecue. Like I want to say they started as like barbecue flavored potato chips, but yeah, I love Grippos from Ohio. That's a delicious chip. Trying to think if there's any other like regional chips.
Ketchup flavored Lay's out of Philly.
Oh, yeah, we did. Well, we the all dressed chips from Canada, which were delicious.
Well, and
which are just barbecue and salt and vinegar mixed together.
well, and we love the Trader Joe's seasonal Thanksgiving chips.
Oh yeah, the Thanksgiving chips, which I still have, and the blue cheese chips. Oh, those are good.
Not for me on that, but-
Trader Joe's does a good specific chip.
And I will have to say, I'm very mad at Lay's for having the dill pickle chip bag being so similar to the limon bag.
Yeah.
That is a cruel thing to do to somebody like me. I just want you to know that.
Someone that detests dill pickles
Yeah.
more than anything on the planet.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
We used to eat limon chips all the time because we used to have game nights. And, number one snack of game night is a big bowl of chips. So we
Yeah.
would always do, and that's your favorite chip is
Which
limon.
I want to say it was like between me and Hector. I think
Yeah.
we were the two that usually attacked
Meanwhile,
those the
I
most.
haven't seen a bag of limon chips in this house ever.
Yeah.
Like, you just stopped eating them.
I burned out a little bit.
Yeah.
Like,
they do, the first couple chips taste like Pledge, but then like once your nose rounds out to the flavor,
yeah, once
then
you get
they're
used
really
to it.
delicious.
Yeah. But like I haven't desired the urge to sort of get through those first couple chips lately.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Well, all this chip talk is making my mouth water. I'm starting to gleek all over the place because now I want to go eat chips.
man, I think I'm gonna go open those Oreos.
And we didn't even get into like, is popcorn a chip?
No.
'Cause we eat a lot of popcorn.
No, it's not chip.
Okay. Stamped it.
The end.
The end.
Hot dog or no hot dog.
Well-
Popcorn's not a chip.
Yeah, much better episode than last week. Our energy was a lot better. I'm glad we did this.
Whew, man.
I'm also glad we waited because it's almost 4:00, and last week we just did it too early.
Maybe.
Who
I don't
knows?
know. I think it was also just I don't know. I was in a shit state of mind.
Yeah,
So
same.
sorry everybody.
Yeah, but now we're back and better than ever. And next week is our 1-year anniversary of doing the show, which is crazy.
Well, I mean, it's your 1-year anniversary. I showed up a little bit later, so
True. Well, and technically, since we took last week off, so this week I think I started a year ago today.
congratulations.
Thanks, but
Well,
one more-
and seriously, you do get holidays. It's fair.
yeah, one more episode to a year of podcasting. Who knew all of this would cut? Just kidding. But thank you guys so much for listening and watching and sharing. And yeah, if TikTok goes away, I'm going to start posting on YouTube a lot more. So come back. It works if you work it. And now we're going to go watch the Golden Globes. So have a great night, everybody. We love you. We'll see you next week. Okay. Goodbye.